The animal shelter stood near the old road where fewer people came every year. It was a quiet place filled with soft sounds of breathing footsteps and distant barking. Most visitors stopped near the front cages where young dogs jumped and wagged their tails. They wanted energy and joy and quick happiness. No one walked all the way to the back anymore. At the far end of the shelter there was an old German shepherd named Bruno. His body was thin, and his fur had lost its shine. His ears no longer stood straight, and his legs trembled when he tried to rise. Bruno had been strong once. Long ago he guarded a small house near a field and waited every evening for his owner to return. Those days lived only in his memory now. People passed his cage without slowing down. Some glanced at him for a second, and then looked away. Others whispered that he was too old and too weak. The shelter workers were kind and gentle. They fed him on time and spoke softly to him. Still they knew that hope faded a little more each day. Bruno spent most of his time lying on the cold floor. He listened to the sounds around him, happy barks, laughter from visitors, doors opening and closing. Each sound reminded him that life moved forward without him. When footsteps stopped near his cage, he lifted his head slowly. His eyes searched for warmth but usually found nothing. One morning the sky was gray and the air felt heavy. The shelter door opened, and a young mother walked in with her little boy. The boy's name was Sam. He held his mother's hand and looked around with wide, curious eyes. Everything was new to him, the smells, the sounds, the animals. Sam walked past the first cages. Puppies jumped and barked trying to catch his attention. Some pressed their faces through the bars. Sam smiled but did not stop. His eyes kept moving as if searching for something he could not name. They reached the middle of the shelter where older dogs waited quietly. Sam slowed his steps. He watched their calm faces and gentle movements. Still something pulled him forward. His small feet carried him to the very end. That was where Bruno lay, still quiet and almost invisible. Sam stopped suddenly. His mother looked down surprised. The boy let go of her hand and stepped closer to the cage. Bruno felt the presence before he saw it. He opened his eyes slowly. A small face stared back at him. No fear, no sadness, just simple curiosity. Sam knelt down near the bars. He did not speak at first. He just looked at Bruno. The old dog did not move. His breathing was slow and careful. Other people had knelt before it. Most spoke in soft, pity-filled voices. They reached out quickly, and then pulled back. Sam did not do that. He stayed still. His small hands rested on his knees. After a moment Sam spoke. He said hello in a quiet voice. Bruno's ears twitched slightly. The sound was gentle and warm. It did not demand anything. Sam smiled. He told Bruno his name. He talked about school and his favorite toy. His words were simple and calm. Bruno listened. He did not fully understand the words, but he felt something he had not felt in a long time. Safety. Minutes passed. The shelter around them faded into the background. Even the barking seemed softer. A worker noticed the scene. She paused and watched. She had never seen Bruno this alert before. His eyes stayed on the boy. His head was lifted. Sam slowly reached his hand through the bars. He did not rush. He waited. Bruno watched the small hand come closer. His heart beat faster. Memories of gentle touches returned. Carefully Bruno leaned forward. He placed his nose near Sam's fingers. He sniffed. The smell was warm and clean. Sam laughed softly. He did not pull away. He gently touched Bruno's nose. The old dog closed his eyes. Something shifted inside him. Not his body but his spirit. A quiet spark of hope flickered to life. For the first time in a long while Bruno felt seen. The next day the shelter door opened again, and the workers expected the usual visitors who stayed near the front. Sam arrived with his mother just before noon. He walked faster than yesterday, as if he already knew where he wanted to go. The puppies barked and jumped, but Sam only waved at them and kept moving. His mother followed with a curious smile. Bruno was lying in the same corner of his cage when he heard the familiar light footsteps. His ears moved first, then his eyes opened wider. He lifted his head and stared down the hallway. The workers noticed something strange. The old dog was waiting. Sam appeared at the end of the row and knelt down in the same spot. His face brightened as he looked at Bruno. He spoke softly as if greeting an old friend. Bruno did not stand, but his tail moved a little against the floor. It was a small sound, but it felt like a big moment. Sam told Bruno about a drawing he made at school. He explained how he colored the sun bright yellow and the sky light blue. He said he wanted to draw Bruno too. His mother watched as the boy spoke with steady patience. The way Sam talked was calm and kind. He did not ask Bruno to perform. He did not ask him to stand or wag or bark. He only offered his voice and his time. A worker named Mia walked closer. She carried a small bowl of warm water and a cloth. She asked Sam if he wanted to help clean Bruno a little. Sam nodded quickly. Mia unlocked the cage and opened it slowly. She stayed close to make sure everything was safe. Bruno remained still, but his eyes followed Sam. Sam stepped inside carefully. The cage smelled like old fur and disinfectant. Sam sat on the floor at a respectful distance. Bruno could leave his corner if he wanted. No one forced him. Mia dipped the cloth in warm water. She handed it to Sam. Sam held it gently like it was something important. He moved slowly and began wiping the dust from Bruno's fur. The cloth was warm and the touch was soft. Bruno flinched at first, then relaxed. His breathing changed. It became deeper and calmer. Sam whispered that Bruno was a good dog. He said that old dogs were still strong inside. He said that being quiet did not mean being emptied. Bruno's eyes blinked slowly, as if he understood the feeling, even if he did not know the words. Mia watched with surprise. She had tried many times to clean Bruno like this. Usually Bruno turned his face away, or stayed tense. Now he stayed calm. He allowed the touch. After a while Sam placed the cloth down. He reached his hand toward Bruno's paw. He did not grab it. He waited for permission. Bruno looked at the hand, and then at Sam's face. Something in the boy's eyes felt safe. Bruno moved his paw forward just a little. Sam placed his hand under it. Bruno's paw rested on Sam's small palm. The contact was gentle and steadied. Sam smiled, but he did not shout. He did not clap. He stayed quiet so Bruno would not feel startled. Mia held her breath. She could see Bruno's eyes soften. It was like watching a door open after being closed for years. Sam's mother stepped closer and asked Mia about Bruno's story. Mia explained that Bruno had been found near an empty road. He was tired and weak and looked like he had walked too far. No one knew where he came from. The shelter gave him care and time, but many families passed him by. Sam listened while still holding the paw. He asked why people did not want Bruno. Mia said many people wanted a dog they could run with, a dog that looked young and strong. Sam looked at Bruno and said Bruno just needs someone to stay. Those words stayed in the room. Even the barking from the front felt distant. Mia nodded slowly. She had seen many visitors speak kindly for a minute and then leave. Sam was different. He returned. He stayed. Over the next week Sam came whenever his mother could bring him. Sometimes they came after school, sometimes on weekends. Each visit became a small routine. Sam would walk straight to Bruno's cage. He would sit and talk. He would offer a gentle hand. He would bring a small treat approved by the workers. Bruno began to respond in tiny ways. One day he shifted closer to the bars when Sam arrived. Another day he stood for a moment and then sat again. His legs still shook, but the effort was real. The workers started to whisper that the old dog was changing. His eyes looked brighter. He ate with more interest. He lifted his head more often. His tail moved more. Mia decided to try something careful. She brought a soft blanket and placed it in Bruno's cage. She also placed a small toy near the front. It was not loud and not bright. It was simple and gentle. Sam pointed at the toy and smiled. He encouraged Bruno in a soft voice. Bruno stared at it for a long moment. Then he slowly reached his nose toward it. He nudged it. The toy rolled a few inches. Sam laughed softly. Mia smiled and turned away to hide the tears in her eyes. It was not sadness, it was relief. Bruno was still old, he was still tired, but something important had returned. Trust. And each time Sam walked out of the shelter Bruno watched him go. The old dog did not feel invisible anymore. He felt like he mattered. He felt like tomorrow might be worth waiting for. Days turned into weeks and the shelter felt different. The workers noticed more visitors stopping near the back cages. They were curious about the quiet old German shepherd who now lifted his head with interest. Bruno's presence felt stronger even when his body remained weak. Sam continued to come with steady devotion. He brought stories from school and small moments from his day. He spoke about friends and lessons and the little things that mattered to him. Bruno listened in his own way. His ears followed the sound of Sam's voice. His eyes stayed focused. Mia and the other workers began gentle exercises with Bruno. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. They helped him stand for short moments. They supported his body while he took slow steps. Sam watched closely. He clapped softly each time Bruno moved. One afternoon Bruno surprised everyone. Sam arrived later than usual. The shelter was quiet, and the light coming through the windows was soft. Bruno heard the door open. He lifted his head, then he pushed himself up. His legs shook, but he stood. When Sam reached the cage he froze in place. His eyes grew wide. Bruno stood there looking back at him. It was not perfect, it was not strong, but it was real. Sam whispered that Bruno did it. He said he was proud. The words filled the space between them. Bruno's tail moved slowly. Mia felt tears gather again. She had seen many recoveries and many losses, but this moment felt special. It felt earned. Sam's mother began talking more with the workers. She asked questions. She listened carefully. She noticed how Bruno waited for her son, how he relaxed only when Sam was near. One evening Sam's mother sat with Sam at the kitchen table. She asked him why Bruno mattered so much. Sam thought for a moment. He said Bruno listened. He said Bruno did not leave. He said Bruno felt lonely. Those simple words carried weight. The next week Sam's mother filled out papers. She read every page carefully. She spoke with the shelter team. They explained Bruno's needs and his age and his care. She nodded. She did not rush. Sam waited patiently. He did not jump or shout. He trusted that good things take time. Bruno sensed change in the air. The routine shifted. More people came to see him. More gentle hands touched his fur. He grew tired but calmed. One morning Mia clipped a leash onto Bruno's collar. The leash felt strange. He had not worn one in a long time. His body tensed for a moment. Then he smelled Sam's hand on the leash. They walked slowly. One step at a time. Bruno leaned forward. Sam stayed close, his small arms steady and careful. The hallway felt long, but they reached the door. The light outside was bright. Bruno paused. He had not been outside like this in a long while. Sam spoke softly. He told Bruno it was okay. Bruno stepped forward. The workers watched in silence. This was not a celebration. It was a quiet victory. Over the next days Bruno practiced walking more, always slow, always supported. His strength did not return fully, but his will did. Sam brought a small blanket from home. He said it was for Bruno to feel safe. The blanket smelled like home, like warmth. Bruno curled against it and slept deeply. The shelter staff talked among themselves. They said the old dog had changed because someone chose him, not because he became young or strong, but because he became loved. Sam's mother received a call one afternoon. The shelter told her Bruno was ready, not perfect, but ready. Sam listened as his mother explained. His face grew serious, then he smiled, a calm, happy smile. That night Sam placed his toy car beside the blanket he prepared for Bruno. He whispered that they would walk together. He whispered that Bruno would never be alone again. At the shelter Bruno rested quietly. His body ached but his heart felt full. He no longer watched the door with fear, he watched with hope. Tomorrow felt close, and for the first time Bruno was not afraid of it. The morning arrived with soft light spreading across the shelter. Bruno lifted his head when he heard familiar footsteps. His body felt tired but calmed. Today felt different. Mia entered the room with a gentle smile. She spoke to Bruno in a warm voice. She told him someone was coming for him. Bruno's ears moved at the sound. His tail tapped the floor once. Sam arrived holding his mother's hand. He walked slower than usual, as if he did not want to rush the moment. His eyes searched the room until they found Bruno. A quiet smile spread across his face. Mia opened the cage carefully. Bruno did not step back. He waited. Sam stepped forward. He placed his small hand on Bruno's neck. The touch was familiar and safe. The leash was clipped on again. Bruno stood slowly. His legs shook but he stayed upright. Sam stood beside him. He did not pull. He matched Bruno's pace. They walked down the hallway together. Workers paused to watch. Some smiled, some wiped their eyes. The sound of their steps echoed softly. At the door Bruno paused again. The outside air drifted in. It smelled like grass and open space. Sam whispered that everything would be okay. Bruno stepped forward. Outside the shelter the world felt wide. The sky was bright, and the ground felt warm under Bruno paused. He blinked in the sunlight. Sam laughed quietly. They walked to the car slowly. Sam's mother opened the door. A soft blanket rested on the seat. Sam helped Bruno climb inside. It took time. No one rushed. As the car moved away Bruno looked back once. The shelter grew smaller. It had been his world for a long time, but it no longer held him. The ride was calm. Sam talked the whole way. He spoke about the house and the yard and the quiet corner Bruno would like. Bruno rested his head and listened. At the house Sam showed Bruno every room. He moved slowly so Bruno could follow. The floor was smooth, the air was quiet. Sam led Bruno to a soft bed near the window. Sunlight fell gently across it. Bruno lowered himself carefully, his body relaxed. Days passed with a new rhythm. Mornings were slow. Walks were short, but meaningful. Sam always stayed close. Bruno learned the sounds of the house, the creak of the floor, the hum of the fridge. Sam laughter. Sometimes Bruno struggled, his legs tired quickly. Sam sat beside him when he rested. He never complained. He never asked for more than Bruno could give. Neighbors noticed. They stopped and watched. An old dog and a small boy moving together, one step at a time. Bruno's strength did not return fully, but his spirit stayed strong. His eyes followed Sam everywhere. His tail moved more often. At night Bruno slept deeply. The house felt safe. Sam placed the blanket near him every evening. One afternoon Sam lay on the floor beside Bruno. He rested his head near the old dog chest. Bruno breathed steadily. Sam whispered that he was glad Bruno waited. Bruno closed his eyes. The old German shepherd who had been ignored now belonged, not because he was young, not because he was strong, but because someone chose him. And in choosing him a little boy learned something important, that love does not look for perfection, it looks for presence. Bruno lived each day quietly, slowly, fully. And that was enough.